And Kim Potter, the former suburban Minnesota police officer who shot and killed Daunte Wright during a traffic stop earlier this year, has been found guilty of both first and second-degree manslaughter. The verdict coming down yesterday after 4 days of deliberation. Joining us to talk about the verdict and what's next is Kim Potter is criminal defense attorney Bernarda Villalona. Bernarda, good morning. How are you?
Good morning, Nick. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday to you, too. Can you explain to us and our viewers what was the legal reasoning that made the jury find Kim Potter guilty on both first and second-degree manslaughter?
Exactly. So, Nick, the jury has spoken, and that jury has called Kim Potter guilty, and guilty of both charges. When we're talking about manslaughter in the first degree, which is the highest charge that faces a sentence of up to 15 years, the jury found that Kim Potter, in her position, despite her 26 years experience and 19 years of carrying that taser on her left-hand side, that she created a substantial and unjustifiable risk of bodily injury and death. In terms of manslaughter in the second degree, they found that she's culpably negligent for her actions and that she created an unreasonable risk, and she should have known she was creating an unreasonable risk. So what does this say? Now she's going to face sentencing on February 18th, and the judge is going to decide her fate. Is she going to face a long prison term? We'll know that on February 18th.
Ms. Villalona, I have to ask you this, though. Potter is white, while the victim, Daunte Wright, was black. Did race play a role in this case and the outcome?
So let's talk about what was the jury composition. So, there were 12 jurors, and out of those 12 jurors, I believe 2 of those jurors were Asian, 1 was an African-American female, and 9 were Caucasian. So as you can see, the jury composition was primarily white, which is the same hue as Officer Potter. Now, in terms of whether race played a part, I don't believe so, in a sense of when they watch that video, yes, it's on the back of our minds that race probably played a part in terms of stopping the vehicle, because that was the pretext for the stop, in a sense of some hanging Christmas trees, some air fresheners from the rear view mirror. However, the prosecution made it clear it's not just about a person being killed, Daunte Wright being killed, but this is a human being that was killed regardless of color, that he did not need to be killed on that day. Kim Potter knew better based on her training, and this should not have happened.
Potter faces about 8.5 years in prison for the most serious offense, but that's different than the often cited 15-year maximum possible under Minnesota's law. What do you believe are the main factors that will affect how long of a sentence Potter will get?
So in determining what the sentence is going to be, the judge has to determine the purpose of sentencing is punishment, rehabilitation, and deterrence. Here you have the prosecution that's going to request an upward departure, meaning that even though that the presumptive sentence is probably 8 years, they want something that is higher based on the aggravating factor that Kim Potter abused her position of authority. Yesterday, the defense said that they are going to file a dispositional downward departure request to the judge, where they're even going to request some sentence of probation. They don't believe that she should be serving a prison sentence. The judge is going to have to determine what is the right punishment, what is going to deter future conduct like this, and rehabilitation in the sense of Kim Potter. Is this going to happen again? Obviously not, because she's never going to be a police officer again. But the first step in acceptance of rehabilitation is acceptance of responsibility, and you don't have that here. So I can see definitely Judge Chu is going to sentence her to a prison term of at least, I'm saying, of about 8 years at least, I believe so, especially since she gave us some insight yesterday when she told the defense that the presumptive sentence is jail. So she's not thinking about probation, and she's not looking to treat Kim Potter differently than anyone else.
Ms. Villalona, I have less than a minute, but I have to ask you this. As an experienced criminal defense attorney yourself, was it a good idea for Ms. Potter to testify on the stand? Would you have advised that?
Absolutely not. Look, I was a former homicide prosecutor for 10 years. And let me tell you, the problem is when Kim Potter testified, she lost a lot of credibility in the sense that she tried so hard to recreate her emotions from April 11th of 2021. And it was an epic fail because, in my opinion, her testimony, her cries were, Teila's cries were one that were a performance. And I think the jury was able to see past that. Also, she was very combative on the stand where she didn't want to answer basic questions in the sense of, isn't a taser different in weight of a gun? If you can't answer that simple question, it's like, woman, Are you telling the truth? Are you really remorseful for what happened? No.
Bernarda Villalona, thank you very much. We thank you for your time. Merry Christmas to you and your family.
Thank you, Nick. Merry Christmas, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to click on the red subscribe button below so you can get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.